You're standing on the cliffs of Cheddar Gorge, southern England, 10,000 years ago. The air is wet, your breath fogs. Below you, a river cuts through pale limestone like a scar. You are, by every measure, a European. You live here. You were born here. Your people have lived here for generations. And your skin is dark, almost black. That's not a hypothesis. That's not a theory cooked up in a university office next to someone's cold brew and standing desk. That is what the bones say. In 2018, a team from University College London and the Natural History Museum drilled a 2-millimeter hole into a 10,000-year-old skull, a man found in this exact gorge back in 1903, and sequenced his genome. They called him Cheddar Man. And what they found upended something most people assume is just obvious. The oldest complete skeleton ever found in Britain had dark to black skin and blue eyes. Here's the question that should be sitting in the back of your mind. If modern humans arrived in Europe roughly 45,000 years ago, why didn't their skin lighten immediately? What were they waiting for? The answer is weirder than you think, and it rewrites one of the most confidently told stories in human biology. Let's start with what everybody thinks they already know. The simple version goes like this. Humans evolved in Africa with dark skin to protect against fierce equatorial sunlight. Then they migrated north. Less sun, less UV radiation. Dark skin blocks sunlight, and you need sunlight to make vitamin D. So lighter skin became an advantage. Natural selection did its thing. Europeans turned pale. Done. It's clean. It's logical. It even sounds like something you'd hear from a credible documentary voice over footage of woolly mammoths. There's just one problem. It didn't happen that way. Now here's the complication. A 2025 study from the University of Ferrara analyzed the ancient genomes of 348 individuals who lived across Europe spanning 45,000 years, from the Paleolithic all the way through the Iron Age. And the picture that emerged was completely unexpected. Dark skin was the overwhelming norm across the continent for most of that entire period. Light skin first appeared in Mesolithic Scandinavia, roughly 14,000 years ago. But it stayed rare for the next 7,000 years. By the Copper and Bronze Ages, roughly 5 to 3,000 years ago, only about half of Europeans showed signs of lighter skin. The real shift, the moment light skin became dominant, didn't happen until around 3,000 years ago. 3,000 years ago. That's not the Ice Age. That's not even the Stone Age. That's the Iron Age. That's when the ancient Greeks were writing epic poetry. That's when Rome was just getting started. This is genuinely wild, because it means that for roughly 42,000 of the 45,000 years that modern humans had been living in Europe, most of them looked nothing like the textbook image of a European. So what was really driving it? Here's where it gets interesting, because the old vitamin D story doesn't just have a timing problem. It has a diet problem too. Hunter-gatherers weren't eating cereal bars. They were eating fatty fish, wild game, liver, nuts, fungi. That diet is rich in vitamin D. Genuinely rich. A 2020 review published in the journal Experimental Dermatology made the case plainly. European hunter-gatherers survived for roughly 35,000 years at high latitudes with dark skin and didn't die of vitamin D deficiency. Their diet covered the gap. The real pressure, the pressure that actually changed skin color, may have arrived with farming. Around 8 to 10,000 years ago, Neolithic farmers from Anatolia, the region that's now Turkey, began moving into Europe. They brought agriculture. Wheat, barley, lentils. A grain-heavy diet is almost the exact opposite of the hunter-gatherer menu when it comes to vitamin D. No fatty fish. No organ meats. Suddenly, the body needed to produce more of its own. And the skin became the manufacturing site. Lighter skin, which absorbs more ultraviolet light, would have had a genuine survival advantage for the first time. And the Anatolian farmers, who carried the genetic variants for lighter skin, began spreading across the continent. One gene sits at the center of all of this. SLC24A5. A single mutation in this gene, one amino acid change, is responsible for somewhere between 25 and 38% of the difference in skin pigmentation between people of European and West African ancestry. That's a staggering amount of variance from a single point in the genome. And according to a 2013 study in PLOS Genetics, the European and South Asian versions of this mutation share a common origin, meaning it likely swept through both populations from a single ancestral source, possibly the Fertile Crescent, as farming communities expanded and mixed. Here's the part nobody tells you about. This mutation didn't just appear in Europe and spread west. It went everywhere. In 2018, researchers publishing in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences found this same SLC24A5 variant in Kusan populations in southern Africa, people geographically as far from Europe as you can get. Their analysis showed the gene was introduced into southern Africa via a back-to-Africa migration less than 2,000 years ago. And it spread so fast through what geneticists call positive selection that it now explains up to 15% of pigmentation variation among some Kusan individuals. Not because of UV pressure, because migration carries genes across geography in ways that have nothing to do with the climate they're landing in. Which brings us to the part of this story that the research is still genuinely wrestling with. Because the vitamin D hypothesis, even revised, doesn't explain everything. Blonde hair and blue eyes appeared in Europe before lighter skin did. That Mesolithic spike in blue eye color, followed by a dip, then a return, looks less like pure solar adaptation, and more like a combination of forces, genetic drift, sexual selection, and the mixing of incoming farming populations with resident hunter-gatherers who happen to carry particular traits. The honest version of this story is that skin color didn't change because of one clean pressure. It changed because of agriculture disrupting the diet, because of migration mixing populations who carried different alleles, because of sexual selection favoring certain appearances in certain environments, and because of random genetic drift doing what it always does, amplifying traits in small populations for no reason at all. Nina Jablonski, the anthropologist at Penn State who has spent decades studying the evolution of human skin, has argued that pigmentation is one of the fastest evolving visible traits in humans precisely because it responds to so many different pressures at once. It is not a fixed identifier. It is the opposite, a perpetually moving target of adaptation, admixture, and accident. So here's where that leaves you, right now, in 2026. Every time you swipe past a sunscreen ad or tilt your phone to avoid the glare, you're carrying the outcome of at least 45,000 years of selection pressure, migration, dietary revolution, and genetic drift. The skin you're in was shaped by Neolithic farmers who switched from venison to wheat. By back-to-Africa migrations nobody knew happened until the genome sequencing technology existed to find them. By the slow, grinding process of populations mixing at every border, every coastline, every trade route. The oldest Briton had dark skin and blue eyes and lived in a limestone cave above a river. He was European in every meaningful sense. And the story of how his descendants came to look different is not a clean line from Africa to Pale. It's a tangle of agriculture, accident, and time. Drop a comment. Which part of this rewrote something you thought you already knew? Was it Cheddar Man? Or the fact that farming changed your skin? The oldest Briton was dark. He was home.